What's going on today, guys? All right, so today I want to talk to you about the importance of using and making a nice chunky airy mix when you're dealing with your tropical house plants. Now, for the majority of the plants in here, they're either monsteras, philodendrons, pothos, midridians, scadapsis. I have a dragon tail, and I believe that covers all types. I do have a Hoya, or a couple of Hoyas, like two or three, and I think that takes care of it. All of them use pretty much the exact same mix. Now, when it comes to your pothos and your monsteras, they do like to hold their moisture a little bit more, so you don't have to go as chunky and airy with that. But of course, a philodendron or anything completely loves it. But they still all use the same base. I just swap out and give a few more ingredients than the others. So we're going to talk about how to make the most simple one, just the basic, the airy mix. Now, I want to start off by saying that you can go straight into stores, or you can order online and you can get this mix already done for you. Okay, it leaves the guesswork out of you, and maybe if you're a little bit nervous, you're just starting off, you don't trust yourself with it. I completely get it. I lost a lot of plants off of doing a terrible soil mix. So if you're nervous and you don't trust yourself, go for it. But this right here is going to save you a whole lot of money. It 100% work. And I just have some time today, and I just want to show you how to do it. Now, first up, if you are going to go into a store, typically this is carried in most of the big box hardware stores, not all of them, but you can catch these in different types of stores. This is more likely. Now, they also have Fox Farm. Now, that's some good stuff too. I just never had to buy it because the stuff that I use works, so I don't have to pay that premium price because I'm making all that. I think the company is called Sungrow. I call it Black Gold, but I think the company is Sungrow. This right here works, guys. You can use it straight out the bag. I'll show you what it looks like. Normally we'll preserve to keep it fresh, but I really want to make sure you all get the right stuff, because having a healthy plant is really something to brag about. Okay, here we go. Okay. Now, as you can see, it doesn't have the perlite in it like mine does, but it's still a nice chunky mix, and it works really good. Not as airy as the one we made, but it works just as fine. To get this mix, you're looking to spend 777 times 3, 21. You're looking to spend about $22, $23 with taxes going on. You're going to buy 3 different types of bags. First, you're going to buy your indoor pot mix. Now, I opened this stupidly, so it's upside down, but indoor pot mix. Okay, this is by Miracle Grow. This is your most famous one you're going to see in all the other stores. Now, Miracle Grow gets a good and bad rep. Now, people who know how to use Miracle Grow, we say it's pretty good. People who don't know how to use it, they say it's crappy. So let's make it be really good. Get you some Miracle Grow indoor pot mix. Next, we're going to go with some orchid bark. Now, you'll usually find this type of orchid bark, or this kind of orchid bark. Whatever one you go with is completely fine. Just know that there are a little bit of differences between the two. This brand is really, really airy. It don't retain really no moisture because the chunks of it are just so big that the water completely runs off. Now, this one right here, the mix is a little bit more finer. I'll show you. Okay, and with that mix being a little bit more finer, it is easier for it to hold moisture. So just be mindful of that, of which one you use. All right, so let's review. We just used our indoor pot mix, and we just used our orchid bark. Now remember, both of these are Miracle Grow, so stick with Miracle Grow. You'll be perfectly fine. Next is going to be the perlite. Now, the perlite is something that I have not been able to see in the stores. You can go to your store at the big box store and they do have perlite, okay? And you can grab that, that's fine. But the one that I recommend and the one I've been using is perlite, and this is a size 3 perlite. I go on Amazon and I get it. It's like the size deals with MM, so I think if you type in 3mm perlite, I believe that's how it pop up for you. But I get this stuff in a big box, and that box lasts me. I mean, I bought one box at the beginning of the year, I still have it. But you get you some of this because this perlite right here is very, very airy, okay? So let's make us a little mix so you can see how all of this come together. 3 ingredients. Now, I am going to say this. Recently, I've been using horticulture charcoal. I have not had it in my primary mixes. Most of my plants in here do not have it. But I am going to show you what it looks like. And I will be adding it to my mix today because I have been using it recently. But, you know. Okay. I always say do a third of each. So we just going to eye it. So we're going to take our perlite. There's only about a third in here left. We're going to go in here. Next, we're going to get our orchid mix. Put this in here. And we bring it back up so that way we can see what's going on. All right. And this don't have to be 100% on point, but you get the idea. It's close enough. So we have our perlite. Now we have our orchid bark. Next thing we're going to need is our what? Indoor pot mix. And this indoor pot mix actually have perlite in here. And I'm going to show you the perlite that's in here and you can see the difference. Now, the perlite that's in here is the perlite you would get from the store. And you'll see that it's a big difference between mine. So this is the kind that I've been using versus this is the kind that comes. Okay, a little bit of a difference. But you see the mix right here? We have the 3 layers. Now we're going to shake it up and we can see what we come up with. You know, this right here is by far one of the most easiest mix I've ever made. And it's been probably the most simple answer to a lot of my plant problems. I had terrible soil. The mix was terrible. I would just take what the stores gave me and just keep that and make that work. And if you do that for some plants, it's okay. Like your pothos that you buy in those pots, usually that soil is okay because they like to retain moisture. But any other type of plant, you got to get it up out of that soil because when the humidity in your home and everything works, it's something about when you water those plants in that mix, the water just stays there for a very long time and the plant just doesn't drink it up fast enough because it's just not ventilated and in the perfect environment. Almost forgot. And this is what the horticulture charcoal look like. Mix this in. I should have went with a bigger container, but I didn't have one that was clear other than that one. And I wanted to show you from scratch how to make this. All right. And here we go, guys. Take a look at that. Look at that. You're not going to beat that anywhere else. And what did we pay? We paid $7.77. Now, I did forget about the horticulture charcoal. That is I think that is $9 a bag, $8.99 if I'm not mistaken, or it might be $9.99. Perlites right here, your orchid bark, your indoor pot mix, guys. You saw just the little bit of amount that we put in each one with that third, how much we got out of this. Can you imagine 3 full bags, how much you're going to be able to get out of here? It just simply saves so much money. And you can do it and it works. It's the same stuff you buying out the stores. Now, I will say sometimes they have stuff like cow manure and so forth in there. But guys, all you got to do is fertilize your plants. And let's go ahead and talk about that now. One of the many things that I struggled with in keeping my plants healthy was not providing them the care that they needed. After I finally figured out what kind of soil to get for my plants, the next step was fertilizing them and feeding them. And that was something that I was going to stay from doing the whole time until I just had to start doing it because I just saw the results of it. And I was like, okay, just give it a try. And guys, it's not really that hard. Here we go. We have Foop and we have Jack's Classic. I had to take a look at this one because I'm not going to lie to you all. This is the first year that I've been actively fertilizing my plant with one type. I bought some liquid fertilizer last year and I did use it. And I don't know the name of it. It was just something I bought off of Amazon, but I had to throw it away because it was going to expire. So that what inspired me to go ahead and use it. Got some really good results. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I need to look more into it. So when I did a little bit more research, boom, Jax came up. Now they do have a all house plant one, but this one you could use for indoor and outdoor. And I did have a garden and a couple of stuff out there. So it was good for both. Now let's talk about it. Plant food, fertilizer. There are a difference. And here we go. Plant food, think of it like your vitamins. Okay. Plants need vitamins in order for them to grow beautiful, green, stay fresh, popping, all of that good stuff, right? Fertilizer. Fertilizer, yes, the plant needs it, but it needs it in a different way. The soil needs it. So fertilizer helps the soil. It puts the nutrients and whatever it is that the soil needs in order to make sure that the plants can be able to pull from it. That's the purpose of fertilizer. So there is a difference between the two. Now, you do not want to feed and fertilize your plant at the same time. Okay. It's only recommended that you fertilize your plants 6 to 8 weeks, but I've seen people who say they fertilize their plants just about every one and they do fine. I'm not doing it and I'm not telling you to trust it. It's just that I've heard and I've seen people put fertilizer in their plants, on their plants, and they do perfectly fine. I'm not doing it. Plant food, I do put with every single water on my plants, except for if I'm going to fertilize. If I'm going to fertilize my plants, I won't put plant food in there and I'll just fertilize it. And even to go an extra step to make sure that I just don't stress them out too much, I'll follow behind them with just water. No plant food, no fertilizer, anything, just water on the next one, just to make sure everything's cycled through and it just don't have too much of a buildup in the soil from plant food and fertilizer mixing. Because if you put too much of one or the other, guys, your plants will tell on you and your leaves will usually start turning yellow. And you'll recognize it because it'll do it immediately after you water, like within 24 hours. If you water it tonight, tomorrow when you wake up, you'll start seeing a few little symptoms, but definitely in that full 24-hour range, you definitely can say like, oh, okay, maybe I put a little too much in it. So they do have measuring cups and they do give you measuring recommendations in the back. I would suggest to use them versus the gallon. I'm stubborn. I still to this day be eyeing it. Now, fertilizer, I eye it a lot closer. They do have a spoon in there and I look at it and I try to tap it and get as close as I can to it. I don't just go free fall with this one. This one, they say it, I'll still pump it till it looks the color that I want it to. But anyway, guys, both of these are very important. So don't leave these out when it comes to your plant care. Pest, you're going to have them. Okay. You have to really take it serious and start thinking about what things you want to use for pest prevention. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it's a big hot topic. It's loud. Do we use pesticides to treat our plants or do we just use natural stuff? I'm going to tell you, this right here is a natural product. Now, if it was some stuff out here, some pesticide that you tell me I could put a little drop in each one of these plants and I don't have to worry about that no more, I would buy it, okay? I don't have any babies in here and I don't have any animals in here, so I'm completely fine. I will use it. But for now, I've been using this Natural 203 and it's been working really good. Works a lot better than that insecticidal soap that you get from the stores. But I'm going to tell you something. And me and one of my friends on Instagram, we had a conversation about this. If you truly, really want to get rid of pests, what you're going to have to do is actively monitor that plant and dip it in water and clean them with cotton balls. Anytime you see things like thrips, mealybugs, put your plant, just submerge it in water, do your best to hold the soil, and hopefully you have something like a sprayer, sink, shower head, so forth. You take it and just spray the plant leaf. You want to spray the stem, get all in there, get it down. Then wipe the plant completely down. I'm talking, let me give you an example of how, right here. If you're wiping this plant, I need you to wipe up here. I need you to flip it over, wipe up here. Then I need you to take this stem right here, you wipe it all the way down to the soil. And that's the thing. Sometimes these pests get inside of the soil. If that's something that happens to you, it's happened to me before, you have two options. Option A, throw the plant away, repot the plant. Okay. It's just those are going to be your two options because spraying on the leaves and wiping them all the way down is not going to do nothing if all you have is a problem in the soil, because they're going to keep coming up and eventually get into the roots, and that's going to be the end of your plant. Okay. In addition with using water, I definitely use this too. A friend recommended this to me as well, and it's actually been working pretty good. Mealy bugs are still a beast, and if you just have a full outbreak on them and you just don't get on them at the very start and start actively getting rid of them, tackling them is very hard, almost to the point, why do I even bother? But I really want to save my plants, so I'm going to continue doing them. So I went and grabbed a couple of other few things that you definitely want to have in your plant room when it comes to just plant care in general. Now, if you don't have any plans of ever growing plants up on a wall or growing your plants just up vertically, then a moss pole, this will serve you no purpose. But to my people who really want to grow their plants on a wall like the one you see back there or up there, moss poles are very important. But I'm going to tell you something else too. You could also just use wood. You could use just a stake and so forth. Just because you have moss poles, if you don't water them, they work just like stakes too to be able to go up. The whole purpose of the moss pole though is to allow those nodes on the back of the plants, when they feel the moisture, because these are supposed to be wet, they will grow into it, which basically means when you get ready to when you want a new plant or you need to get a new plant, you could just cut below there and it will already have its roots already growing inside of here or around here or on here, placed straight into soil, and you can keep it moving. You never have to go through the phase of water propagating and then putting it in your peat moss and your not peat moss, your sphagnum moss and your perlite, and going through that stage for the root system to form and all of that. You could just let it form while it's growing on the mother, okay? We can go through a video of that one day and I can show you how to do it. I have successfully done it several times. I do not have a plant right now actively growing, but if you all want me to do that, just put it down there at the bottom of the comments and we will find a plant to start nursing and we will go through the whole process. It takes anywhere from about 4 to 6 months though. I'll tell you, it's a slow process, but we could start it now and it'll be ready by spring. You just let me know. All right, so in addition to this, you want some gloves. Now you want some matching gloves, but hey, I just go with what I have, and this right here is what I had sitting here. This right here allows you to be able to wipe the leaves down on your plant, okay? Your plants need to be able to take that sunlight in for them leaves to be able to photosynthesize so they can become big and beautiful. So this will help. Microfiber gloves will help wipe it down. Now, if your plants have pests and so forth on there, if you touch that, be mindful, and you touch another plant, you're going to spread it. So if you have pests, the first thing I say is do not use these gloves. Get you some Viva paper towels. You've seen them in the store. Yes, they are expensive, but I'm telling you, they're completely worth it. First of all, they're very soft, almost softer than the microfiber gloves, if you ask me. But the good thing about that, you can discard those when you're done with them. Okay, so they're really good for, you still need to wipe your plants down. Just because your plants are sick, it doesn't mean you don't need to wipe them down to make sure they're receiving light, and to still wipe them down to make sure you're getting any bugs or anything that's on them off. Next, let's talk about this right here is a light meter. And what you do with this, you turn it on, you go to Loomis, you find out what the recommended lighting requirements of your plants are, right? And right here on the screen, you see it. The closer that you get to light, let's see if I can find the example, it changes. So the FC means foot candle. And for just most of these plants in here, let's just say that they pretty much need something like a 50 to 75 FC lighting. So when you have your grow lights, the best thing to do is just take your meter, check it right over here, and you see how close I am. So this isn't going to be accurate. You got to go all the way to where the plant is at, because that's the plant that's receiving the light. Now, a plant like this, it said for medium, you want it somewhere between 50 and 75. This one's actually receiving 145. So it's receiving a little bit more. As long as it doesn't go over the 400, 400 means like bright, bright. That's when you basically frying your plants. Don't go over that. Just pay attention to it, because I early on just bought some cheap grow lights, put them underneath like a little bitty cage, something like. Had the plants entirely too close. They were baby plants too close. Light was like that far. And I kept wondering why those plants just kept dying. I'm like, it's not drying out. I'm providing light. I wasn't using one of these. Yes, I bought this and didn't even use it. Didn't even care, set it to the side and just was going to guesstimate. Fried a whole lot of money up doing that. So you get you one of these, keep it on FC. As long as it's on like 50 to 75, you're good. Now they said you can get as low as to 25, but you know what happens when you aim for minimum. Just in case you miss, you're going to go lower. So I say go higher, not too high. All right, next we're going to wrap this up. We're going to talk about these in a group. It's pretty fast. This right here is graphing tape. I don't know if you've seen back here, but plants that you see like taped on a moss pole, if it's not something green you see, it's usually graphing tape. Graphing tapes works fine. The plants are unbothered by it. And this allows you to be able to put, like, let's say a stem that has a node and you want it on a moss pole. This allows for you to tape it on there and keep that moisture locked in, because that plastic creates its own little humidity barrier right there. Now, you still have to keep the whole moss pole moist, but this just helps it a little bit better. Next thing, I'm going to put these two together because you can't have one without the other. And this is my Velcro zip tie, guys. I talk about this all the time. It's very versatile. You can use it, use it, use it. Okay, use it and reuse it. I guarantee you there is at least 10 to 15 pieces of Velcro in here that I had from the very beginning of my plant journey. And it's because I just take them off of a plant, put it somewhere else. Some plants come off, some plants die. Some plants, you know, they need other things. I switched their method up. Some of them I have on moss poles. Some I pull them off and put them on a stake. Some of them I cut them and repot them. So it's just, this is good to be able to pull off and use. This graphing tape, once you use it, is done. Now, you can use anything to tie your plants with. This works great, Amazon. Now, trimmers and cotton swabs. Cotton swabs work good, especially if you have philodendrons, because we all know about those dry leaves, okay? The best thing to do with that, if you have a leaf that's stuck, I believe we went over those one time before, is some type of video. If not, I'll make one this week for a short, but you got to put it down there. Let me know what it is that you want to see so I can make a couple of videos on it, because I don't mind. Trimmers. If you don't use trimmers, I don't know how you're doing it. Don't use scissors, okay? Scissors are good, scissors are fine, but it's something about using the trimmers. First of all, it's the right tool to use. Second thing is they slice a lot straighter. Sometimes with scissors, they have that double part where it's a little gap in between and it's a little slant in there, and you want your stems and everything to be as even as possible. Plus, scissors require you just those two fingers, and you got to squeeze the heck out of that sometimes, depending if you have a strong stem. But your trimmers, they're going to cut right through basically anything. Okay. Pretty much, guys, that is all that I wanted to talk to you about today with plant care. If there is a question that you want answered, if there's a comment, something I forgot, something you wish you would have seen more, definitely let me know down there at the bottom. If anything, y'all take care. Please like, comment, share. You know the drill.